Hi Yogi, welcome to class. Are you looking for a challenge? Then you're exactly right here. Today we're going to learn my most favorite variation of crow pose, the traditional asana Bhujapidasana. So yeah, I hope you have a lot of fun trying it out, and let's begin straight away warming up our wrists. Therefore, make a fist and circle your wrists to the right. On an inhale, straighten your arms. And on the exhale, turn the circles around to the other side and move your wrists towards your chest. Now inhale, circle your wrists to the other side, lift your arms. Exhale, reverse it. One more time like this. Inhale. Straighten your arms to the front. Exhale, pull them closer to your body. Then come onto your knees and also lower your arms down. Inhale, reverse it. One last time. Straighten your arms. Reverse the circles and pull your arms back. Open your arms to the side. And reverse it. I can definitely feel my wrists already. Now one more to the bottom. Reverse. And let's shake it out. We want to come to all fours. To warm up our spine, I want you to flow through a round of cat-cows. Place your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. On an inhale, arch your back, lift your gaze slightly. Exhale, press into the mat. As if something was between your shoulder blades and you wanted to push it away. On an inhale, arch your back, lift your gaze. Exhale, push. Inhale, arch your gaze. Exhale, push. One more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then on your next inhale, straighten your spine. We're going to do an exercise to warm up our shoulders. Therefore, on the exhale, press into your arms and press yourself only out of your shoulder blades. And on an exhale, let your shoulder blades drop down. So make sure this movement only comes from your scapula and that you don't arch your back. You also don't bend your arms, just your shoulders are moving. This is really a great exercise to create body awareness. Really push into the mat and let them sink down. Let's do 5 more. 4 and 5. Now we want to come into downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Take a deep breath in here. And then step your right foot to the front of the mat and the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up to standing, lift your arms. Exhale, lower your arms. Let's flow through Surya Namaskara A. On an inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Now here again, press yourself out of your shoulders. Core engaged, legs are engaged, glutes are engaged. Inhale here. On an exhale, lower your knees, lower yourself down to the mat. Inhale, lift your chest, baby cobra. Your feet press into the mat. On an exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Let's stay here for a couple of deep breaths. Make sure your back is nice and long. If you need to, bend your knees. Your armpits are pointing towards each other, or you want to make them go towards each other. Take another deep breath in here. On an exhale, come to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Forward, forward. Inhale, come back up to standing. Exhale, lower your arms. Let's do a Surya Namaskara B variation. On an inhale, lift your arms, chair pose. Exhale, forward, forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Plank. Inhale here. On an exhale, lower yourself down to the mat or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing. On an inhale, step the right foot to the front of the mat. You want to come into warrior one. One deep breath here. Exhale, lower yourself down. Step the right foot back, chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing. Let's bring it to the other side. Step your left foot forward. Warrior one. One deep breath in here. Make sure your hips are square to the front of the mat. And then lower yourself down. Step back into plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing and downward facing. A couple of deep breaths here. Make sure your core is engaged and you're breathing through the nose. Then step or hop to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your pose. Exhale, come back up to standing. One more like this. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing. Step your right foot to the front of the mat, lift your arms, warrior one. Exhale, lower your hands, step the right foot back, and lower yourself down, chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing. Step your left foot to the front of the mat. Lift your arms. Exhale, lower your arms. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Let's stay here for 5 deep breaths. Make sure your lungs fill up with air completely. And that your exhale is just as long as your inhale. One more deep breath here. And then your next inhale, step or hop to the front of the mat and halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to chair pose. Exhale, standing Samastiti. From here, step your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, grab your waist. Lift your heart. On an exhale, come into a halfway lift. Grab your big toes with your middle and index finger. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Your feet are pressing against the hands against the feet. You want to relax your shoulders. Shoulder blades are pulling together slightly and your weight is shifted forward. You can also try engaging your quadriceps so your glutes can open up a little bit more. You're always welcome to bend your knees and modify. The practice should suit you and not you the practice. Let's take another deep breath in and out here. And on your next inhale, come back to halfway lift. Exhale, grab your waist. Inhale, lift up. Step your feet together again, Samastiti. From here, make a big step to the right. Your feet are now parallel to the floor. For straddle, forward fold, grab your waist. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, forward fold. On an inhale, come into halfway lift again. Shift your weight more into the front of your feet. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Your legs are really strong here. Walk your hands back. And maybe your crown touches the floor. Maybe it's really far away. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you try to stay present with your breath. Try to pull in the belly button a little bit after every inhale and exhale. This is the only way we can stay connected to our center, by constantly bringing our attention back to it. Your next inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, grab the outside edges of your feet or of your calves. Inhale, halfway lift again, and exhale, pull yourself down. You're gonna stay here for 5 deep breaths. For Bhujapidasana later on, it's really important we can open our legs widely. Therefore, we are practicing this pose beforehand. Take another 2 or 3 breaths here. On an inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fingers want to go to the ground. And then come back up to standing and step to the front of your mat. Let's flow through a Vinyasa to come to a seated position. And inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Then, on your next inhale, step or hop to the front of the mat into a seated position. And now we want to do something for our center. Place your feet in front of you and grab one of your blocks. Place the block between your thighs and press it together firmly. Make sure it doesn't go away. You don't have to press like a lot, but just so it doesn't fall off. Now for boat pose, straighten your arms, lift your heart, activate your core, and lift your legs. Option 1 is to stay with me like this. Option 2, straighten your legs. Inhale here, on an exhale, lower down to half boat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. When you lower, make sure your lower back stays on the mat. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. 5 more. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up one last time. And lift yourself up. Place your block beside you. This was challenging, I know. Now step your feet a bit further apart from you. We want to prepare our body for Bhujapidasana. Therefore, we're going to come into turtle pose. Option 1. From here, straighten your back on an inhale, on an exhale, fold forward. Like this. If this is already difficult, stay there. Option 2. Bring your feet a little bit closer. And now you want to bring your shoulders underneath your knees. Open your arms to the right and to the left. From here, you want to start straightening your legs so that your body eventually touches the ground. Be gentle to yourself. This is a challenging posture, but it's the best posture to prepare for Bhujapidasana. Now, take a few breaths here with me and think of lifting your heart. Your back will still be rounded, but you really want to try lifting your heart in this pose. Now, breathe deeply. One or two more deep breaths in here. And then come back up really slowly. Can be a bit challenging at first. And back to center. This one is difficult, I know. Now join your feet in front of you for another Kurmasana variation. We want to do Supta Kurmasana variation. On an inhale, straighten your back. So this is not Baddha Konasana. Make sure your feet are really more in front of you. On an inhale, straighten your back. On an exhale, lower your upper body. And maybe you want to stay here. If this is easy, you can also take your arms below your shins and grab your feet like this. We're going to all stay for 5 deep breaths. Try to relax into the pose, but keep your bandhas engaged. Pull the belly button to the spine a little bit and lift your heart on the inhale and also on the exhale. If this pose is really challenging for you, try to come back to your breath. In Ashtanga yoga, we practice this a lot, but in normal Vinyasa classes, these poses don't get practiced very much, so they can be really challenging if you first start doing them. On the next inhale, come up. And then take a block. Open your feet a bit, place the block where your feet were. Now we're gonna go for another round of Kurmasana, placing our feet on the block. Now on the next inhale, straighten your back. Exhale, lower your body. And see if you can, how far you can get the arms below those shins. And now surrender to the pose. It is intense. But that's what you want to work on if you're also trying to gain flexibility for a firefly pose, Tittivasana, or Bhujapidasana. We're going to stay for 2-3 deep breaths. open. Lift your body up, come back to center. Let's all meet in Malasana, yogi squat. You want to be in a low yogi squat, opening your hips. Taking a few deep breaths. We're not going to stay for too long. Make sure you press your arms against your legs against your arms. And then from here, come to a standing position. Now we're going to need our 2 blocks, and you want to place them behind your heels. Not a lot behind, but just behind them. So your feet are turned out slightly, and from here, you want to bend your knees to come into a forward fold. And now the aim is to come into Bhujapidasana, the crow variation, to place your hands on the block. Place your hands on the block and now try to walk your shoulders as far back against the knee as you can. And then from here, I want you to sit on your arms. Press into the blocks, lower your hips, sit on your arms and lift the gaze. If you lift the gaze, come onto your tippy toes and maybe join your feet together to come into Bhujapidasana. Now, if this is really difficult, keep on trying. You can also, if this is already achievable for you, take the blocks away, but I recommend you to practice with blocks, it's more easy. And then you can work on grabbing your heels like this and really getting those shoulders far behind. And then placing your hands on the ground, sitting on your arms, lifting your gaze while sitting down, lifting the heels, joining the feet, and then you want to pull your feet away from you, lift your heart, and breathe. We're gonna stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you want, you can change the bind. Stay for another couple of breaths. And then try straightening your legs. Shift one leg back and then the other. And let's all meet in a squatting position. And just rest for a bit. I know this is really challenging. From here, sit onto your mat and lower yourself down. We want to come into a twist before finishing class. Therefore, straighten your left leg, pull your right knee closer to your chest, open your right arm to the right and pull the knee over to the left. Breathe. Only go as deep as it feels possible and good for you today. Let your breath flow naturally right now. On an inhale, come back to center. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Let's switch it over to the other side. Pull your left leg towards your chest. And pull it over to the right. Your gaze goes to the left. bring your attention to your belly and feel how it rises naturally. Then on an inhale, come back to center and let's all meet in a short shavasana. Open your feet, mat width or wider apart. And turn your attention inward. Stay here for a minute or so. Take a deep breath to come back slowly. Move your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. And come to a seated, cross-legged position. Leave your eyes closed. Join your palms in front of your heart. And just observe for a moment. Observe how your body feels. Now, let's finish class as usual and bring your thumbs up to your third eye for clear thoughts, to your mouth for always speaking the truth, and to your heart. May your heart guide you through this journey called life. You can be really proud of yourself for stepping onto the mat today. Thanks for practicing with me. It means a lot to me. See you next time. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel and also leave me a comment below how it went, and I would really love to know if you also feel like this arm balancing posture is easier than the usual crow pose. So please drop a comment.